we're going through some detailed solution for the June 2023 multiple choice math exam, this paper 1. So we have -3 squared plus -2 squared. So -3 squared will give us a 9. It's going to give us a 9 right there, right? And a 9 plus -2 squared is a 4. And this gives us 13, right? So we want to pick that easily. Number 2 says, what percentage of 40 is 8? So it simply means that we're representing 8 over 40, and we want to multiply this by 100. And simply working out, we cancel out 8 into itself 1, 8 into 45, and you could see 5 into 100, and that's 20. All right, so we pick up 20 right there. When 0.45 is written as a common fraction in its simplest form, 0.45 can be represented as 45 over 100, and then we could cancel out 9 into 5 into 45 is 9, and 5 into 100 is 20. So that's 9 over 20a. All right, for this one though, you don't need to work out anything, because if you work this out, you're gonna get a 1, a 1, a 4, a 4, a 4, and a 5, based on all the responses that you're seeing. So basically, you're looking for how many digits are behind the point. So if you look carefully, we're looking at 2 plus 2 more, that's 4. So the answer that I'm looking for must be 11.4445, which is A, because I'm thinking about these 4 digits that are behind the point would match back with those 4 digits behind the point in what we use to multiply. Another quick way you could look at this is like, imagine you're multiplying 2.3 times 4 point something. So technically, this is like a 2 and a little bit times almost 5. So your answer will be very near to 10. And there is only one answer that is close to that. A test was marked out of 80. A boy scored 60% of the test. How many marks? Well, we could simply look at this as 60 out of 100, and you multiply this by 80, and you could cancel these zeros. 68 gives us 48. We have tickets that were sold at a concert, right? And when we sell those tickets at that concert, we were actually looking at, so the tickets were sold, and we have a total of 40, right? After 5 days, and each day he sold 3 tickets more than the previous day. All right, no problem. So then you want to set up a system. So we have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. We have 5 days. Day 1, we start off with x. Day 2, we have x plus 3 more. Day 3, we have x plus 6. Day 4, we have x plus 9. And day 5, we have x plus 12. The sum would be the total. And we're being told here that this is equal to 40. So if I'm going to find the ratio between day 3 to day 5, I need to know the value for day 3, the value for day 5, which means I intend to find the value for x. So let us say I put this all together, x and x and x and x and x. I would have a total of 5x plus 3 plus 6, 9 and 9, 18 plus 12, 30. This is equal to 40. If I subtract my 30 from both sides, so 5x is equal to 10. Divide both sides by 5. Divide both sides by 5. X is equal to 2. Now, because I know that x is equal to 2, then on this day, x plus 6 is giving us 2 plus 6, which is 8. On day 5, we have an x plus 12, which is 2 plus 12, and that's 14. So we're going to compare day 3, which is 8, to day 5, which is 14. It's not there, so you cancel out. 2 into 8 is 4, and 2 into 14 is 7. So our answer is 4 to 7. All right, now let's go for number 7. For number 7, we're dealing with integers, which are just negative numbers, and you're talking about negative numbers or whole numbers and the negative of the whole numbers, right? So we're dealing with those numbers. So here is the deal. Here is the deal with that. We're coming from -2 all the way to +4. Here it is, right? So it's very straightforward. A set of positive integers that is divisible by 6. So this is numbers that would go to infinity, numbers that 6 could go into without a remainder. We can't tell how many, right? For this one here, based on what we have, there's a general formula that says, if I want to find the number of elements in, let us say, A intercept B, it's going to equal to the number of elements in A plus the number of elements in B minus the number of elements in A union B. Do not mix up the union with the universal set, and that's an issue. So what we're looking at here is that A is 14, B is 15, the union is 23, not 25. So we have 29 minus 23, and the answer is 6. For this one, we're looking at this diagram. The question says, how many people play both? When you observe this set, the moment you're in set C, you're automatically in set T as well. So those who played both would have been in the inner circle right there. So we're talking about Paul and Rima. So it's 2 persons that played both. How many students played exactly 1? So if you're thinking of those who played exactly 1, you're talking about those that are in T, but they are not in C. So that's Ali, Alex, Tom, and Kayla, 4. Number 12. Number 12 says, the 30 students in a teacher's Mary's class have either a dog or a cat or none of the 2. 16 students would have dogs for D, D for dogs, and 12 would have C for cat, and the remainder would have neither cat nor dog. Now, make sure that your D comes up to 16 while your C comes up to 12, while the total gives us 30. C is 14 here, so this made that incorrect. All right. Right now, D would be everything here, and this is like 28. That's a problem, right? Now, this looks good, right? But you could see that this is 14. C must be 12. This is good. This is good. This is good to make the total 30. D is the answer. Now, at a bank, EC $2.60 is equivalent to $1 for every $1 exchange. We have EC 10 cents. So we get an EC 10 cents being deducted for every $1, right? So how much Leon would have gotten if he had 1,000? So what you want to do, remember though, for every 1, you get 0.1, right? Or 10 cents. So you want to multiply your 10 cents by 1,000, right? When you multiply this by 1,000, you're going to realize that, hey, 10 cents multiplied by 1,000 will give you $100. This is going to be 100 EC that will be deducted from what? You're changing 2.6 times 1,000. You're going to get 2,600. You're not going to get all of that because $100 will be taking out, right? So it's $2,500 that would be left for Leah. Just which costs $1,800 is sold at a discount of 10%. The amount of the discount is what? A number of ways. If you know a figure and you want to find 10%, it's easily drop off the zero at the back, and that is 10%. That's 180. Let us say that you don't know that. You could simply work this out by saying 10% of 1,800. So you could now cancel your zeros. For example, these two zeros here could have canceled these two. So 10 times 18 will give 180. You still would have got that, right? Let's go to 15. Number 15 says $7,000 is borrowed at a rate of 5% for 3 years. The simple interest would be what? The simple interest formula is simply P times R times T over 100. The money invested or borrowed, that's your principal. Your rate is 5 and the time is 3. What we have here is 7,000 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3 all over 100. This 100 could cancel into the 7,000. You get 70. So we're left with 70 times 5. This is 350 multiplied by 3. And this will give you 1,050. And here is the answer. An article bought for $125 was sold for 100. The loss as a percentage of the cost. Let us look at the loss. Our loss will be 125. And we want to take out that 100. We're left with $25. That's the loss. Now you're going to represent this as a percentage of the cost. The cost was 125. So it's 25 over 125. And then you want to change that to a percentage. 25 into itself 1. 25 into 125 is 5. 5 into itself 1. 5 into it is 20. 1 times 20 is 20. Right? So 1 times 20 is 20. Number 17. The cash price of a television set is $350. When bought on hire purchase, a deposit of $350 is required and followed by 12 monthly installments of $30. How much is saved by buying cash? What is hire purchase? Hire purchase is simply making a deposit plus the amount payable, right? So the amount payable would be that amount that you would have gone back over time. What are we looking at? The deposit is $35 and you're going to pay $30 by 12. That's $360 plus your 35. That is $395. Now, if you want to know what you would have saved, you want to subtract that $350 from it, and you're left with $45. That's what you would have saved. Number 18 says, if the simple interest on 900 for 4% per annum for T years is this, what is T? T refers to time. This is my principal, this is my rate, this is my interest. 100 times my interest over T times R would give me T. So it's going to be 100 times 108 over 900 times 4. You could cancel out. For example, the 100 and the 900 leave 9. 9 to itself is 1. And 9 into 108 will give me about 12. 4 into itself 1, and 4 into 12 is 3. So I'd have 3 as the answer right there. 19. At the end of the year, a car is worth 5% less than what it was worth. If a car is worth 19,000 in December of 2021, then in January of 2021, it was what? Be advised, if I have a fraction of an amount and I need the original, I can reciprocate that fraction multiplied by the amount that I got. For example, 95%, which is 95 over 100, is actually 19,000. So if I want to find that original, I reciprocate my fraction, so it becomes 100 over 95. And I multiply this by 19,000, and it's going to tell me the figure that was from the beginning. 95 into itself 1, we get 200 there. 100 times 200 will give me 20,000. My answer is B. Another way you could approach the problem is to take the answers and find 5% of it. For example, if you're looking at 20,000, 10% of 20,000 is just to drop a 0 off. And then now 5% would have been to divide this by 2. So you're seeing that's 1,000. So if you now take that 1,000 from it, you would see that you would have gotten that 19,000, which is 5% coming off. Diverse ways of working. You could work it out, or you could take the answers to eliminate things that cannot. Man's regular salary is $8 per hour, up to 40 hours. Overtime is twice his payment. If he was paid 480, how many hours of overtime did he work? Now, what you want to do is to know what he would have worked for 40 hours. 40 hours at $8 per hour, he's going to give him $320. That's his normal pay, his basic. Now, you want to subtract this 320 from that 480. You're going to get $160. And this is going to be overtime money. So I'll call it OT money. Now, remember that the rates on overtime will be double. It will be 8 times 2. So it's going to get $16 an hour. Now, if you make $160 working at $16 per hour, you could tell the time that it took, 10 hours. Right? 21. 21 is simply saying that 7 times the product of the two numbers, A and B, would be what? Product. We're multiplying 7 times A times B. And there it is. For this, the LCM is simply 6x, not 6x squared. All right? Now, 2 into 6x is 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 into 6x is 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. So if we should add these, we'll have 5 over 6x. There it is. What is the value of x squared plus the 3x all over xy? X squared. What is x? 4. 4 squared plus 3y, 3 times 2, all over xy. And this is going to be 4 times 2. 16 plus 6 over 8. 22 over 8 is the same as 11 over 4. And if that is not there, 4 into 11, 2 times, and remainder 3 over 4. Here's my answer. Now we want to solve this for x. You want to distribute. So let us set it up. 5 times x gives us 10x. 5 times -1 is -5. And this is equal to 35. We're going to add 5 to both sides. The intention is to have the x's alone. 10x is now equal to 40. Then I'm going to divide by 10. So x is equal to 4, and there's the answer. John has X marbles. Take note. Max has twice, 2X. Right? Now, Max gave John 5 of his. How many marbles does John now have? So we're focusing on John. John would have gained 5 on what he had. So the answer is X plus 5. Now, if you take a quick look at this, you want to study the pattern, you want to see what's going on. Well, if we multiply 2 times 3 and then add 6, I'll get 12. If I multiply 2 times 2, that's 4, and I add 5, I'll get 9. Based on that pattern, then here is the idea. 2 times the first digit, which is A, plus the last one, which is B. So we're looking for this. If A is the matrix 1, 2, 5, 4, 6, 1, 3, 7, negative 2, 3, 2, 9, then the order deals with how many rows by how many columns. Rows are horizontal. So in red, row 1, row 2, row 3. In blue, column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. So basically, if I'm to tell the order of the matrix normally tells how many rows by how many columns, right? So what are we looking at? 3 rows and 4 columns. Remember to put the rows first, the columns after. For the following matrix, the determinant is always the product of the leading diagonal minus the product of the non-leading diagonal. Therefore, the leading diagonal would be 8 times 5. We're going to minus 7 times 6. 8, 5 is 40. Minus 42 is negative 2. And that is our determinant. 29. All right, so 29 refers to the following vector. We have P and we have Q. We want to have the vector P minus Q. All right, so we're going to actually just represent this by doing matrices. So that is P, 1 minus negative 2, 5. We apply matrix, no pressure. 3 minus, then there's a negative 2. And then 7 minus, there's a 5. We all know that when we have 2 negative signs beside each other, with nothing between them, then the rule for multiplication will affect the signs. This becomes plus. Our final answer is 3 plus 2, 5. 7 minus 5, 2. We're looking for 5, 2. All right. So item 30 is referring to that diagram with the triangle OLM. All right, OLM, in which R is the midpoint of OL and T is the midpoint of OM. Further, we're told that OR, so the direction is important. OR is A and OT, direction is important, is B. Because R is the midpoint of OL, that means this is A. And because T is the midpoint of OM, that means this is B here. The question wants us to find RM. So we're moving from R all the way to M, going that way. Now, if I want to find RM, it simply means that I'm going to move from R, I'm going to walk to O, and then move from O and end up at M. So we could represent this. For example, RM is a result of moving from R to O, then move from O to M. When we're going to do this, we have to pay attention to the sign, to the arrow, the direction the arrow is going to. For example, we're going to go from R to O. We did not get RO, we got OR. So if I'm coming against the arrow, coming in the opposite direction of that arrow, I have to change that. So this is now going to be a minus a, because I'm going in the opposite direction. And then I'm going to go all the way from O to M. So there are two B's there, so it's 2B. If you do not see that, a lot of times they'll put the positive one in front, then the minus the next one. So we see this, we take it. Given that 1 millimeter is equal to 1 over 1,000 meters, then 2,500 millimeters is what? Right? We can simply look at this. It's going to be over 2,500 multiplied by 1 over 1,000. This is the same thing as saying 2,500 divided by 1,000. Same principle. So you could see, you could cancel the 2 zeros if you want, and then dividing by 10, decimal point is going to end up right there. Or from here, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to go between the 2 and the 5, just like that. The volume of a cube whose edge is 10. So if I have a cube looking like this, the edge is 10. Remember, for cubes, all the sides are of the same length. So even if the diagram is not drawn to scale, it's fine. The result is going to be 10 times 10 times 10. This is going to be 1,000 cm cubed. The answer is D. At a party, a number of guests were served. 15 liters of champagne. Each guest had 2 glasses of champagne. And in those glasses, you have 150 milliliters. Assuming no spillage, how many guests were there? What I want to know, I'm going to find out right now, right? How many champagne each person would have, because we were told each guest has 2 glasses. And in each glass, it's going to be 150. So I could find out the number, or a number to represent the amount of champagne in milliliters every guest would have. 300. One in the right and one in the left, I suppose. Now, in order to execute now, we're going to convert our 15. I want to convert our 15 liters to milliliter. It's going to be equivalent to 1,15,000, because for every 1,000 milliliter, it's 1 liter. So this becomes 15,000 milliliter. So if I want to know the number of guests, I'm going to divide the amount each guest has into the 15,000. You could take off the zeros, 3 into itself 1, 3 into 55, 3 into 0, 0. Our answer is 50 right there. 50 persons were there. All right, item 34 refers to the following diagram of a trapezium PQRS. And we're seeing the parallel sides are as follows. I'll highlight them, 8 and 18. The height is h. Question 1, if the area of the trapezium is 65, then what is the height? Concept for the area of a trapezium. The area of a trapezium is half the sum of a plus b, and a plus b is referring to the sum of the parallel side times the height. So we could just simply substitute what we have. For example, we have the area 65. The sum of parallel sides, there's an 8 plus 18. Half of it, that means it's over 2. And we want to multiply that by h. Take your time. 65 is equal to 26 over 2 times h. One more step. 65 is equal to 13 h. Divide both sides by 13 and we'll get 5. The height is 5. 35. 35 says the perimeter of a square is 56. What is its area? Now, you know a square would have all sides being equal. Perimeter is to add up the distance along the boundary. So then I would have to divide this 56 into 4 equal pieces. So if I divide my 56 into 4, right, I'm going to get 14, which means this length is 14 and this length is also 14. Area of a square is 14 times 14, 196 right there. The distance around the edge of a circular pond is 88. The radius in meters is what? We're saying here, distance around the edge will speak to circumference. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So we could set this up and substitute. 88 is equal to 2 pi r. We want to find r. We're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. So that on the right side, 2 pi cancels, leaving the r. R is equal to 88 over 2 pi. The answer is C. Let's take a look at 37. 37 refers to the following diagram, which shows a compound shape that consists of a triangle of height 4 cm resting on a square. Now, so the height is there. The area of the triangle is 40. Remember though, the triangle, area of a triangle is half base times height, right? So it's a half the base times the height. So let me write this a little bit clearer. It's base times height over 2. Then you could substitute. 14 is that area. Base, we don't know. Height is 4 over 2. You could see what's going on, right? You could cancel, you could do as much as you want. You could cancel right now and say 2 into is 1, 2 into that 2. So we're looking at 14 equal to B times 2. That means B is 7, right? So then the base is 7. And since this is a square, we have all 7s, right? The area for this part was already given, it's 40. Now, in order to find the area of the shape, then we need to find the area of the square. 7 times 7, and that's 49. We're going to combine, right? 49 plus 14, and we will get 63. And this is the area of that shape. Let's go to 38. On leaving Trinidad, the time the pilot left was 23 hours. 23 hours can be seen as 11 p.m. When he arrived at his destination in the same time zone on the next day, his watch is 3. So now we're dealing with 3 a.m. If the average speed of the aircraft is 625 kilometers per hour, this is like straightforward. We're talking about 625 kilometers every hour, right? I'm going to use every hour, and that's what we mean per hour. Now, the distance covered would be what? Well, so I need to know what is the time between 11 to 3. 11 to 3, that's 4 hours. So then, if I'm doing 625 every hour, then for 4 hours, I simply multiply. I would have done 2,500 kilometers. Let's go for 39. 39 says here, Miss Clark arranged 15 test scores of her students in order of size and select the 8th score for reporting purposes. Which of the following statistical measure did Miss Clark select? We're talking about having 15 things, right? So we could line them up, 15 things. We could line up over 15 things. So if I have 15 things, right? For example, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're definitely seeing that you have 7 there, and you have 7 there. So you're seeing where the 8th term in the middle right here is my median, right? This is my 8th term. This is my median right here, my middle term. All right, so it says here 40 and 41 will be referring to the diagram blue. All right, we're talking about the frequency of 200 students right there. All right, so we want to take a quick look at this, see what's going on. The question says how many students score at most 45, right? All right, so how many students score at most 45? We could quickly take this to have a very good look if we want. At most 45. All right, let's go for that. All right, so at most 45. So here is our diagram. We're going to take 45. We want to mark where 45 is, right? So 45 is right here. So we're going to follow this line all the way up. And we're going to read it off. And then we're going to pick the answer that they have that matches what we have here. So let's see how best we could get this. There you go. All right, so we have that line touches the curve right there. And then we're going to come across. Coming across right there. Right, so we're coming across right there. So what we're doing now, you could zoom that up and take a good look right there. Based on the scale that we have right here, this would have been a 140. So we're going up by 4. So you could see 44, 144, 148, 152, 156, 160. So this is 164, 168. So between 164 and 168, it is 166. So we're coming at 166 right there. So definitely it's a definite answer right there. We came right there. That's the answer. So 166. So our answer is 166 right there. Right. So let's go for the next question, right? So the next one says the median score of the 200. If you're going to find the median score, the median is the middle. It is 200. You want to work out at the side. Median is 50%. We all know 50% of 200. I'll just quickly just put it down for everybody to be okay. So you're seeing 50% of 200 is 100. We're going to use this 100 as a marker, right? And then we're going to go across. Where is 100? 100 in our diagram will be right here. So we're just going to touch, we're going to take this right here. Just going to take this from 100, touch the curve. Wherever it touches the curve, you go down, right? All right. So wherever it touches the curve, you're taking that down. And all right, right about there, we're seeing the 35, 36, 37 is somewhere there. So we're looking for an answer, 37 or the closest answer to that, 37 is right here. And we pick that and we're gone. Let's go for 42. In a box, we have red, 8 red, 7 blue, and 6 green marbles. 1 marble is picked randomly. What is the probability that it is neither blue nor green? If it is neither blue nor green, we're going to be picking red. How many reds? 8. Out of how many? 8 plus 15, 15, 21. So the total was 21, and we're talking about picking a red. So that's 8 reds out of a total of 21 things. 43. Now, quickly looking at 43, it refers to the pie chart with 720 students. How many students played cricket? All right, in order to do that, we need to know what this angle is. So we have we have a lot of degrees. This is 90 degree here already, 36, 30. I want to know what's the degrees. But we have 36, we have a 30%. I need to change that to degrees. So 30% is 30 out of 100. And we want to multiply that by 360 because I want to know what degree is that. You could see this cancel, see that cancel, this cancel. So 3 times 36. You multiply 36 times 3, you'll get 108. So this is 108 as a degree. Now I am able to understand the total degree going on and then find my piece. So now if I should be adding that 90 plus that 108 plus that 36 degrees, I'll now have a total degree that was given. So this is 234. Let's take that from 360. Right, we want to minus that from 360. So we're getting 126 degrees for this. This is 126. So now that I know that cricket is 126 degrees, I could say 126 out of 360, and then multiply by how many students. Good number, 360 into itself, 1. 360 into 72, 2. 722. 2 times 126 will give me 252. So we're looking for that. And the answer is C. 44. 44 says, item 44 refers to the following two-way table, which shows ways in which 200 students in a given group are transported to school on a particular day. So we have males and females, and we have the total. We have us, taxi, those who walk, and the total. Now, a student is picked at random. This is it. The student is not picked from a particular group. It's picked at random, right? So already this is going to be over 200. It's randomly picked, right? What is the probability that the student is a male who travels to school by taxi? So I'm going to have to go know what they're saying, what's my chance of getting a male that takes taxi? That is 50 of them out of the total. You could cancel on 50 into yourself. 1, 50 into 200 is 4, a quarter. We have a quarter chance of picking a student randomly, and it is a boy that takes taxi. 45. The point where a linear function crosses the vertical axis. Now let us look, that's horizontal, that's X. This is vertical, this is my Y-axis. And if something is going to cross my Y-axis, like any graph, this point is called my Y-intercept. Crossing the Y-axis, that's my Y-intercept. So here it is, the answer is A. The equation of the line that crosses the vertical axis of the point 0, 5 and has a gradient of 4 is what? The moment I have a coordinate with the X being 0, it means that the Y value is my C value, which we call our Y-intercept. If I have a gradient which is 4 and a C value which is 5, the equation of a straight line is Y equal to mx plus C, which means that Y is equal to M, which is 4, X, and a positive 5. C is my answer. Which of the following line represents a linear function? Linear function refers to a straight line function, right? Now, remember a function, if you do a vertical line test, it should just touch the thing once. This is a quadratic. As you could see, this is a function, but it is not a linear, it's a quadratic. This one is a function again, but it's a exponential. So it's an exponential function. This is not a function because there are so many points on this one line from that point. So that's not even a function. The answer is A. 48 refers to the quadratic function. The equation of the axis of symmetry for the function y is equal to 4x minus x squared is what? The equation of the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is an x value that cuts the quadratic curves in two equal pieces. So if you think about it, it is this line here. That's my axis of symmetry. And it's where x is equal to 2. X is equal to 2 is my axis of symmetry right there. That's my axis of symmetry, right? So we look for that. The answer is x is equal to 2, and that is D. A line is perpendicular, take note, to a line y equal to 3, 7x minus 5. What's the principle? When one line is perpendicular to another line, one gradient is actually the negative reciprocal of the other. So you're going to turn it upside down and change the sign. So it's going to become negative 7 over 3a. If g of x is equal to 7x minus 3 all over 5, then g of negative 6. If I'm going to do g of negative 6, I'm simply going to substitute negative 6 where x is. And when I do so, I'm going to execute slowly, making sure there is no error. 7 times negative 6 is negative 42. There is already a minus 3 at the back, all over 5. Negative 42 minus 3 is negative 45. If you divide that by 9, by 5, should say, by 5, the answer is negative 9. That is A. Item 51 refers to the following arrow diagram, right? It refers to the following arrow diagram. Now we're seeing the x values all over here, and they're producing some y values all over here. There is a direct relationship going on. Look, you notice 2 plus 3 gives you 5. 5 plus 3 gives you 8. 8 plus 3 gives you 11. 11 plus 3 gives you 14. What we're noticing is that the x value, whenever you add 3 to it, it gives you the y value. So y is equal to x plus 3 is what we're looking for. Be careful. Look at this. You can make an error. You can make errors. Take a quick look. Make sure. 44, 42, 42. 42 says the function, the range of f of x is equal to x to the third for the domain negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2 is what? All we're going to do is to substitute. You want to substitute negative 2 to the third, and negative 1 to the third, 0 to the third, 1 to the third, 2 to the third. And this is going to give you negative 8, negative 1, 0, 1, 8. Answer is D. Item 53 refers to the following diagram of a translation. So what we're looking at here, you're noticing though that you have corresponding points on top of each other basically. We have R, R prime, we have P, we see P prime, we see Q, we see Q prime. Definitely there is an imaginary line somewhere here, which is what we call our mirror line. Definitely you could see the idea. You could see the idea. You could see the idea, right? So we're looking at a reflection. This is a reflection. 54. In which of the following polygon does the sum of the measure of the interior angles, the sum of the measure of the exterior angles? Concept here, all exterior angles of every polygon, doesn't matter how many sides it has. Exterior angles add to 360. And then quadrilateral interior angles will add to 360. So then you'd see that quadrilateral is the only one that suits that. 55. 55 refers to the following diagram, which shows the straight line y equal negative x. So we got the line y equal negative x. And what is the image of the line y equal negative x when it is rotated anti-clockwise about the origin? All right. Now, if I rotate it 90 degrees, we're gonna go 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So then it's gonna come somewhere here, because we're going in that direction, which means this one is going in that direction as well. So you could see a 90-degree popping there. If you did it from this side, you'll see a 90-degree popping there. It becomes y equal x. What you're noticing, if you rotate y equal x or y equal negative x anti-clockwise or clockwise 90 degree or even 270 degrees, you will get each other. So if you rotate one, you'll get the other one. As long as you go 270 or 90 in any direction. So then y equal negative x will turn into y equal x. We have to be careful. We have to look at what we have so that we don't err. Let's go. For this one, we're looking at it says, if you look, item 56, it refers to the following diagram, which shows the translation. So you're told already it's a translation of a triangle ABC to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. All right. In the diagram, the translation by which ABC is mapped onto A prime, B prime, C prime is represented by what? If I want to know, I just pick on a point. There are 3 sets of points to pick on. I could calculate it using arithmetic with my matrix, or I could just do my walking, my vector walk. I'm going to walk from C to C prime. I could have walked from B to B prime. I could have walked from A to A prime. I'm just going to do one. For example, I'm at A prime here. I'm at C here. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the left. With a leftward movement, that means it's a -5 I have on top. So my T on top, that's a -5 already. Then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. If I go up, it's a positive movement of 3. So then my translation is -5, 3. So we look for that. -5, 3 is at A, and we're gone. 57. Item 57 refers to the following right-angled triangle. Now, in the triangle, the angle BAC is given as 30 and AB is 40. The length AB in meters. So we want to know the length AC in meters, should say. We want to know the length of this side. Now, if I'm using the 30 degrees, I have a limited option. I could use cos 30 degrees, which will be AC over 40. But there is no answer here with cos 30, which means this could not work, right? Now I would have to now understand that if there is 3 angles in a triangle and this one is 90, it means that this one up here must be 60. So now I'm going to look from where 60 is. 60 to AC is opposite. And this is the hypotenuse. Now, opposite and hypotenuse will be dealing with the sine of the angle, which is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse side. So then we're suggesting that sine of 60 is equal to AC all over 40. So if I multiply both sides by 40, I'm definitely seeing that AC 40 sine 60 here. All right. Item 58 refers to the following diagram of the enlargement. You have O, A prime, O, B prime, and O, C prime are straight lines. We're seeing those. ABC is mapped onto the triangle. ABC is mapped onto triangle A prime, B prime, C prime by an enlargement with center O. What is the scale factor? Concept of the scale factor. Scale factor is always an idea for the image divided by an idea for the object. Now, I'm going to be picking on a number of things. For example, 1, I could pick on B prime, C prime and compare it with BC. For example, This is 2 units long, this is 1. So one of my answers, I could look at it like this, 2 over 1, the scale factor is 2. What if you saw something else? For example, somebody might say, hey, I saw this side here, and I'm going to relate it to this side. That's fine, right? The 2 greens can be related. This is 4, this is 2. Therefore, the scale factor still would have been the image on top, 4, object, 2. We would have gotten 2 nonetheless. So whichever way you want to approach it, the answer is C, 2 as the scale factor. 59. A plane is flying in the direction of 40 degrees. $45 degrees. Right? And change its course clockwise in the direction 135. So the plane is now going this way. Which means that the angle of turn must be coming from north all the way around to here. Right? Now the question is saying the angle to which the aircraft would have turned, which would have been this movement from where the 45 is to where this is. This is the turn that we got in blue. Now, if we notice the 2 angles overlap, so to find the value of that angle there, I'll take 135 and then I'll subtract the 45 from it, and I'll get 90 degrees. That means this is a 90-degree angle right there. Last one. Let's take note. If angle P formed by the 2 equal sides of the isosceles, this is P, if this is Q, this is R. The 2 equal sides, they form P. So this is equal to that. This angle is given as X. This is the angle that is different. This angle is different. Whenever the 2 sides meet, that angle is different. So then, in order to find angle at Q, which is the same value as angle at R, I need to take X out of 180. And anything I get, I need to divide it in 2 pieces to share for Q or R. C is the answer, right? So right there is our full detailed workout, right? So guys, thank you for watching DellyMaths Concepts. See you next time. If you want to join one of the best online classes here in the Caribbean, you can register now. 481-8561. DellyMaths Concepts. See you.